and get going.
All right. Well, good morning, Mason. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see nice turnout here. And I've got to say, for all the flack that 2020 is getting, it's kind of cool that we can still do things like this. That I think even just 10 years ago, this would have been entirely impossible. So I think it's just fantastic that we can still do a function like this. We're going to go ahead and try and follow our format as best we can. Obviously, going around the room and introducing everybody not going to be something we can do like we normally would. Hopefully, you can see names on your screens and see who everyone is. I think just for the convenience of our speakers as we go through the agenda, if you're not actually asking a question or doing the speaking, it would probably be best if we had microphones muted, just so that we don't have lots of ambient noise. Let us know if you have trouble getting anything muted there for you. I'm not sure if any of you actually have a copy of the agenda. If you don't, I'll go ahead and go through it. But we're going to go ahead and start out this morning. If you're not familiar with our format, we do try and limit our speakers to just 2 minutes of time, just to make sure that we can get everybody back to work and get their days going. So we'll start out this morning, though. Sarah's got some updates for us on the chamber.
Yes, good morning, everybody. So happy to see you all here today. My kids are usually waking up about this time, so multitasking will be my middle name this morning. And I need about 3 minutes, so I'm going to unofficially change the rules, John, and change the agenda that I created. So starting out this morning, we're so excited to host our first Good Morning Mason. For anybody new, the Chamber hosts this networking event every other month for our members at the Ingham County Fairgrounds building. We are always happy to welcome non-members in an effort to get to know our membership, while also catching up on what's happening in our community. So when I have been speaking to our members recently, so many members are missing these moments of face-to-face networking and socializing. It's safe to say that networking is an essential and very much needed part of business. This may not be our normal format here, but we are thrilled to see so many of you here. Our series of speakers this morning will provide an update on how our community is doing during this global pandemic, as well as provide information.
Sarah, it looks like you just got muted there.
Can you hear me now? Is that better, John?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay. A big thank you to Dart Bank, our presenting sponsor, of course, and a big thank you to Paul Schmidt this morning with Uno Deuce Multimedia. He is co-hosting with me this morning to kind of sit in the background and help with production and keep things going smooth. And if it goes well, this might be something that we can do more often, which would be great. As far as a chamber update, I only have 2 minutes, so instead of covering all of the events this year that we have had to cancel, I would like to tell you guys some of the exciting things that we're working on that we can do. The chamber is hosting our first fall golf tournament. This is called the MACC Golf Spooktacular, and this is scheduled for October 8th. El Dorado Golf Course is generously sponsoring this event, giving the chamber the opportunity to raise funds to cover some of our loss of income this year. So a big thank you to them as well. Don Kill may or may not be dressed as a witch, so if that alone is enough to register, let me know if you're interested. Registration is still open. We're looking for teams of 4. And this is a golf scramble that will benefit the chamber directly. So if you're interested, we do have more information on our website, which is masonchamber.org, for more information and online registration. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to stay on after this meeting and answer those here as well. We are also partnering with the Ingham County Fairgrounds this year for a full weekend of Halloween fun. But I will let Lindsey, the events director at the fairgrounds, cover this in a few minutes. But this is very exciting. All things considered, we're not sure how trick-or-treating is going to happen in Mason this year, but this is something the weekend before that's a good alternative. Finally, we will have a light pole decorating contest in October. We are calling this the Hocus Pole Kiss contest. Businesses will be able to adopt a light pole downtown Mason for around 2 weeks before Halloween. So we will then allow the public on our chamber Facebook page to vote for their favorite. And we will have possibly a first, second, third place winner. We haven't really decided that yet, but there are more details to come very soon. So look for information in your email from the chamber on how to sign up. And I'm sure that was definitely over 2 minutes. Don W. would have nailed me, I'm sure, in the forehead with the Nerf gun by now. But that's it for me. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Sarah. And yeah, I doubt you're the only one getting kids and everybody ready this morning. I know we have carpet cleaners on the way, so I'm sure they'll show up at just the worst possible time. So next on our agenda, Mr. Dzewicki with some school news. And it looks like we have allocated a few extra minutes for you because I think there's an awful lot going on with school.
Good morning. Nice to see everyone again. Couple things that are happening at the school district. Certainly we're wrapping up our construction projects, North Aurelius and Alden Elementary Schools. We had ribbon cutting that Sarah was kind enough to join in. And both of those, actually we got a press release coming out and there's information and pictures on our website, but we're very proud of finishing up those two buildings. It was 18 long months. And if you get a chance to drive by, you'll certainly notice right away that they look different, and they've got some new spaces and some new parking lots, and it was very much needed. Also, too, we just wrapped up the tennis court project. We got a few things just to tie up. You've not been back at the high school. I think if you drive back there, you'll be surprised what you see. We're very excited about the new tennis courts. That's going to bring in a lot of traffic into the city. Our previous courts were in very bad condition and certainly not up to competition level, but the new ones certainly are. So we're excited about that. And you all know we started the school year remote, and I just want to again thank the community for the support of the bond proposal back in 2017, because that provided us all the technology tools and backbone and infrastructure that we're using and we so desperately need right now. And so we're in much better shape from a technology standpoint, thanks to the support and the help of the community back in 2017. So also too, want to announce that we're looking to bring kiddos back to school here in a couple weeks. The board approved a hybrid plan on Monday. And so in the middle of October, you'll start seeing elementary students coming back. The yellow buses will be flying around town a little more frequently. And then shortly after that, we'll be bringing back middle school students. High school students are going to start back in person, or providing an in-person option, I should say, at second trimester. We'll always plan on offering a distance learning option. So with us bringing kids back, that is an in-person option for parents to choose. So other than that, that's pretty much it from Mason Public Schools.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So maybe you can clear some. I've been confused since all this started on school speed limits. Whether or not I'm still supposed to slow down for the school speed limit when I drive past the school, whether the school's in session right now.
In school, put it away.
Well, I see the sheriff's on the call, but I'm going to say yes, John. We still have some kids. Matter of fact, we have some special ed kids that are back. We've got learning lab students that are back in our buildings. We got teachers and staff back in our buildings. And so we do want people to get into the habit of slowing down in those speed zones. So
got it. All right, will do. Thank you, sir. And tying right into that nicely, then we have Sheriff Wrigglesworth next on our agenda.
Thanks, John. Perfect answer, Ron. I appreciate that. Just briefly, some things that have been going on at the Sheriff's Office the last 6 months. I'm proud to report that we've had 0 COVID positive employees through this whole pandemic. And as you can imagine, we never closed as a 24/7 operation. So I'm proud of that. We have had a few COVID positive inmates in the jail, but that's kind of to be expected. There are people that get arrested that are COVID positive that have to come to jail, and we mitigate that when they come here. As far as executive order responses, I think countywide, not just the sheriff's office, but all law enforcement in the county, I think we're broaching at about 800 calls for executive order violations or alleged executive order violations. To my knowledge, we have yet to write a ticket and or seek criminal charges against anyone. We have had some cease and desist orders written up by the prosecutor's office, and those have basically handled any of that stuff. The Justice Complex, on October 1st, we have basically the final approval through long courts and a demo of certain parts of the existing facility is going to start in February of 2021. And then we'll start building the new facility early spring of next year. Basically, the new facility is going to face our existing facility, and we will build the entire new facility, move in, and then tear down the old. And then I don't see anybody from the board on the call, but through the pandemic, the county did hire a new controller, a guy by the name of Greg Todd. Seems like a really good guy, is going to be a good fit here, comes from the fine state of Maryland. So that's my update.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, and we'll keep moving through the agenda here. Lindsey Mckeever is next, events director for Ingham County Fair.
Good morning, everyone. Just quick, wanted to thank the community for the success that we had during Fair Week. I'm sure we had a lot of people on this call that donated in some way, so thank you for that. It was really successful. It was really fun, and I was just really proud that we were able to pull something together for the kids this year. And the auction was really, really successful as well. It was the highest price per pound that we got ever for the large animal auction. So thank you all for those of you who supported that. Sarah brought up Halloween, so we are very excited to have a Halloween weekend at the Fairgrounds this year. It's going to start on Friday, October 23rd with a movie screening. That's going to be somewhere on the Fairgrounds to be determined, probably out in the field. We have a big blow up screen that we're going to be using. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be doing trick or treating. So we're looking for businesses to participate as vendors. And this is an opportunity for businesses to promote their business as opposed to sell anything. So it's just promotion for businesses and an opportunity to hand out candy. It's also open to community members or people that aren't business owners that want to be vendors. We have tickets are going to be free for families. It's going to be a very strict number of tickets available per time slot. So we're going to be adhering to all of our social distancing guidelines and occupancy limits. So everything is on the Fairgrounds website under the heading tickets. That's where you'll find all the information, and you can register to become a vendor there. It's open now. So if you have any questions about this, you can just shoot me an email after the meeting. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lindsey. Appreciate it. And next we have Jamie Robinson. Whoop, I think you might be muted still.
There we go. I
All
better?
right.
I don't know. I'm
You're
myself. Very good. Hi. Great to have other people in the meeting. I really want to welcome. We've got several new chamber members that have arrived during COVID. Hello, everyone. If you're tuning in for the first time to a first Good Morning Mason. Small business, we're open. We have not closed. We've had to make a lot of adjustments, a lot of online sales in downtown. And we were excited to have the DDA partner with the public and put $70,000 in 2 rounds of incentive gift card purchases this summer. It really made an exciting boost to a lot of the businesses. Over 18 businesses participated in 2 rounds that you could participate by buying a $25 gift card, and the DDA added $10 to that value. And we put over $70,000 into our local downtown development area. that's a big thank you from us. Coming up soon are new quarter buying opportunities. The American Booksellers Association is now calling October the new December. And to buy your books early, they expect shortages in the publishing world, and it's kind of fun. October is now the new December. So be ready for as soon as the you will see blended Halloween books and Christmas books in every store, I'm sure. Independence will also be recognized very soon by the Michigan Retailers Association and Buy Nearby weekend, which is October 2nd through the 4th. A local campaign for buying Michigan products. I know that Kendra at Michigan Barnwood and Salvage, I believe, has initiatives coming from the Michigan Retailers Association to Buy Nearby. So we look for that promotion. Several of our members have found great significance of using Facebook Live to sell products. They are going online at Sweetlee's Boutique, at Keen's store, and Michigan Barnwood, promoting local buying, and with great success. It's really exciting to participate in some of those auctions, or not auctions, but actually buying buy now nights for their businesses. It's been great. Coming up a little bit farther down the line, the Shop Indie Local campaigns through American Business Alliance is going to go on, and they're actually going to start November 1st through December 31st. And it's going to be filled with a lot of events to support the locals and make the message that, you spend your dollars local, you get more value in your community. So look for Plaid Friday after the Thanksgiving Friday is Plaid Friday for independents. Cider Monday instead of Cyber Monday is for independent businesses. And of course, Small Business Saturday is in the between. So thanks.
Thank you, Jamie. October is the new December. I like it. I am usually the guy who kind of always cringes when we start seeing the Christmas decorations go up too early, and we're not even past Halloween. But this year, I feel like it'll be nice to see that transition, even if it is a little earlier than normal.
Yeah.
John,
yeah.
Can I interrupt really quick?
Yeah,
we have Deb Stuart on the agenda. I just want to make sure we didn't skip over her.
My goodness, I think you're right. Let's go ahead then. I had Mr. Blossey next, but let's go ahead and jump back to Deb. My apologies, Deb.
No worries. I will just do a quick update on some things that we're working on. Obviously, some key areas from the city's perspective. We have maintained services the entire time through COVID-19, but we are limiting access to our building in public hours, but also in gatherings and things like that. Right now, our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3 p.m. The goal is to try to limit as much exposure to our staff because we do have a small staff and we want to be able to continue those services. We have shifted a lot of our services to electronic. So permitting, citizen reporting, a lot of our documents can all be now filled online and submitted that way, things with our police department. In a lot of different areas, the goal is to, in that short period of time, we really shifted to a lot of electronic services. We do have an updated plan always on our website that talks about continuation of operations, and that includes everything from the current requirements of, are we allowing events? Are we not allowing events? Are we allowing rentals? A lot of that's related to executive order guidance or the health department guidance. And so that's updated on a regular basis if you ever have a question about what is currently allowed. We did stall all of our capital projects in March with a goal of just kind of figuring out how the economic impacts would be. We really wanted to make sure we didn't have any impacts to our operations. And so we really stopped all capital spending except for street construction. And so we now are starting to ramp up a little bit to prioritize some key areas. And one of the things we've identified is that if we think we're competitive for funding right now, we're going to pursue those capital projects. So 2 grants that we're pursuing right now are for the Rainer Park Playground, a complete reconstruction of that playground. And then also the library facility, allowing that to be accessible, having an additional bathroom, and really working on that first floor Both of those are funding that we think will be pretty competitive for in these times. So we are moving forward to try to pursue that. We also are, doing everything we can to get as much state and federal funding, because we know the projections for local jurisdictions is pretty rough coming up in the next 2 to 3 years. Whenever there's an economic downturn, cities and villages and local jurisdictions, they all feel that later on. And so we are preparing for those future years of where, how do we ensure that we can maintain those operations. We've had a lot of interest in the community regarding social justice policies locally in the city of Mason. So we've actually are in the process of launching a web page where we're going to address frequently asked questions, talk about policies that we have. We address the 8 that can't wait and how we're reacting to that. We also talk about funding questions, really explaining how our police department is funded and what that money goes to. And also larger issues like qualified immunity, common questions we get. Our goal is to have our citizens be as informed on these issues as possible and really understand how their police department works. When it comes to the election, we have just over 2,500 voters that have requested absentee ballots. They will be mailed out today. And all absentee ballots do have prepaid postage, but we still encourage you to put them in the drop box. We know that as it gets closer to the election, our mail goes to Grand Rapids before it comes back. And so we want to make sure that all those ballots can be counted as much as possible on that election day. There is still some debate about whether postmarked ballots will be considered counted or not. So the best case scenario is to put them in the drop box. All other applications that we'll receive will mail out those ballots as we get those applications. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Deb. Sorry I missed you there. I think I was looking ahead and I saw I had Mr. Dzewicki, and so I usually like to practice saying that a couple of times. And then I looked a little farther down and I saw we had Waskiewicz, and I said, oh my gosh, I've really got to work on this. I got in my own head. So next, then we will go back to Mr. Blossey, Chief Credit Officer over at Dart Bank. And John, you're up.
Good morning, Mason. Thanks for the opportunity to talk with everyone today and give you an update on the PPP loans and where we stand. Just wanted to give a couple little highlights. So obviously we were very active in the PPP program here locally. We provided over 100 loans to local businesses that are headquartered here in Mason, which accounted for just about $7 million in funding, which went to hundreds of employees' paychecks, and we're able to at least provide a little bit of a stopgap through these pretty tough times with COVID and the shutdown. And so we were very, very happy and honored to step up and make this happen for the community. So thank you for everybody, and thank you for everything that you guys are doing. Looking forward on the PPP program. So we've got a couple things that are going on. One, both the businesses and the banking community are really hopeful that the what they're calling the automatic forgiveness will happen. This is the $150,000 threshold where basically there is no review, there is a simple application, and the SBA will provide the funding to have that loan and any accrued interest forgiven. Unfortunately, while there is a tremendous amount of bipartisan support for this, unfortunately, with the amount of things that are going on in DC right now with the election, with Supreme Court Justice confirmation starting here up, and then they just had to deal with a temporary funding bill to keep the government open. The chances of this happening before November, the election, are basically drying up by the day. So I say all of that to make sure that each of you that are working with your respective FI and the people that you talk to, get with your lender, make sure that you're having conversations about the application process, what you need to provide. This is a little different than the application for the loan. That was a very streamlined process, minimal documentation. On the back end, SBA is asking us to collect information on how the money was spent, that you went on payroll, that you spent it on the approved 3 other categories, so that when we submit the application to them for forgiveness, that everybody's on the same page as far as the money being spent the right way. So they have started taking applications. To my knowledge and to other banks that I speak to across the state, it's a very slow process. Once we provide them the application and our basically sign off or our certification that you've spent the money in the way that you've spent it, they have 90 days to review. So, and it looks like they are taking every day of that 90 days at this point. So, I guess, an early thank you for the patience and everything that's going on with this, because they're just as frustrated as all of us. So, so with that, thanks for the opportunity to give an update on PPP. If you guys have any questions, obviously feel free to contact one of our loan officers here at Dart Bank, or the financial institution that you were working with. So, John, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, John, and appreciate all the work that you and your department there did during the heart of this pandemic. So appreciate it. Mr. Klein, boy, it's good to see you here this morning. And I've got you next on the agenda with some information for the Historical Society.
Thanks, John. Good morning, everybody. We're having some hours open for the Historical Museum now. On July 4th, we started opening on Saturday afternoons. So we're open from 1 to 3 on Saturday afternoons now. And we'll probably continue that for a while. But we will not be open on Tuesdays and Thursdays like we normally are. We also can accommodate people who want to go through the Pink School by appointment in advance. At the very beginning, when we opened on July 4th, we took appointments for people to come to the museum, but that's not necessary anymore. But we do enforce all the social distancing and that kind of thing. And we have very strict procedures at the museum as well. One thing that we had to do was to close the Virginia Slichter Auditorium. And so that particular part of our facility is still walled off, so to speak. The door's closed anyway. But it gives me the opportunity now to tell everybody that you can't see the new windows we have. Okay. We received a grant from the Dart Foundation and from a member's bequest in order to be able to pay for new windows in the auditorium. So we have 6 large Pella windows now, and we really needed that. And it's going to be an amazing addition once we were able to get back into an auditorium. We're one of the places in town that very few places that kind of qualify as an auditorium or theater, and they're still closed. We also want to let you know that we're going to be doing some virtual fundraising with a scavenger hunt coming up soon. So we invite you to go to our webpage, masonmuseum.org. Also, you can go to our Facebook page. That's a good place to see what's going on every week for the Mason Area Historical Society. And just an aside from the Lions Club, they're planning on doing the virtual fundraiser in November. So just want to let you know about that. That's it, John.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Good information. And next is Don Waskiewicz, Relay for Life information.
Morning, everybody. And it's great to be here. I do want to say that, Relay for Life, like every other nonprofit, has been struggling this year. But what it's really done, it's created a disruptive scenario that resulted in a whole bunch of people thinking out of the box. So I'm very proud of our team. We are going to go ahead and have our event this year. It's going to be this Saturday, the 26th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Corrigan Oil Speedway at Cedar and Holt. Like I said, like every other community type event, we've had to modify, remodify, and then readjust to conform to not only our state and community guidelines, but also ACS national restrictions on relay gatherings. We think we've arrived at a novel way to both honor the beneficiaries of our fundraising, but also remind us of why we put the effort into this cause in the first place. Our theme this year, ironically, was why we walk back to basics. We wanted to make an effort to help all of our walkers get back in touch with each of our own personal whys as to why we put in this effort. The event, which has been rescheduled for the third time, instead of being an 18-hour walking fundraising event, is now an event that combines an opening, luminaria, and closing ceremony all in one continuous presentation. It gives us the opportunity to close the books on a year that we both like to forget, but also want to celebrate in the successes that we did have. Our normal fundraising target is about $100,000, and we typically exceed that. This year we reduced it to 50,000, and it looks like we may just make it by the end of our fundraising season, which ends this weekend. Considering nearly all of our spring and summer events were canceled, we're very, very proud of the success that we did have. The actual event will occur at the Speedway, with attendees staying in their cars, parked on the infield facing a large screen, where we will show a 35-minute produced video. This video is made up of a series of clips featuring survivors, caregivers, corporate sponsors, local leaders, and highlighted with a video montage of luminarias and video homages to victims of this disease. I guarantee you, after reviewing this video yesterday a few times, there will be very, very few dry eyes in attendance. I suggest you bring your Kleenex and handkerchiefs. I want to thank all of our sponsors, all of our donors, our team captains and team members, and also my colleagues on the leadership team. We've had to deal with considerable challenges this year, and it's been both frustrating, but then also very rewarding. I invite all of you to head over to the Speedway this Saturday, pack a snack basket, enjoy a Kona Ice, and buy an arm's length of 50/50 raffle tickets. It's going to be something distinctly unique, and we're excited about it. So with that, # cancer sucks.
Thanks, Don. I think one of the silver linings of this entire year has been seeing groups and organizations like Relay really adjust and find new ways to not just survive, but really to thrive throughout this whole process. So thank you for the work that you're doing there.
Thank you.
Melissa, we've got you up next with looks like Public Schools Foundation and Greater Lansing Visitors Bureau.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Just a little bit on what's happening with the Mason Public School Foundation. We were supposed to meet this week, but pushed back because of the school board meeting, but we are having a gala, we are doing the 5K, and we're looking for some board members. So if you are interested in joining the board, reach out to me or to our president, Patrick, and we can get you an application for that. The gala will not be at DART this year, but and that's all I know about that. So more information to come on that, and the 5K will continue to happen in May timeframe. And then from the standpoint of the Greater Lansing Convention and Visitors Bureau, we are fiercely advocating right now to be able to host meetings at 50% capacity. Restaurants can be open, stores can be open, so why can't we have a meeting like this in a, say, socially distanced environment? So that is one of the big things that we are in charge of right now. I will put in the comment link a Michigan Restaurant Lodging Association has a campaign that they are putting out right now. It's called Don't Leave Hospitality Out in the Cold. Our industry is very much ignored right now. Everybody's talking about how great the economy is, but there are still 200,000 plus people just in the state of Michigan that are unemployed that work in restaurants and hotels. So we need to not discount out the fact that these people are hurting and these industries are hurting, and we're going to, when it gets cold and they can't be outside anymore, it's going to devastate this industry, and we're probably going to see more than 5,000 of our restaurants and hotels close just in the Michigan area. So help us get that, and then hopefully then we can get back together face to face with masks on, and all will be good. So I'll put that in the comments. And then there's another thing that the Michigan Restaurant Lodging Association has put out for anybody. If you know someone that has been laid off or affected because of COVID, there's a $500 grant that is available to those people. All they have to do is apply and show a pay stub from March 10th that they were employed in some sort of a hospitality environment, and they can get up to $500. So I'll put that in the link as well. And then if you have any questions on efforts that we're putting out to help get the tourism industry back up in the Michigan area, please reach out.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Okay, and I've got two more speakers on the agenda here this morning. Next up is Chris Buck from Modern Woodman. Is Chris here this morning?
I don't see him unless he is this phone number that's called in. So I'm going to assume no.
Okay, all right. Well, we were running a little behind schedule anyway. So Marina, I know I saw Marina. You can go next, Marina, and I'm from Capital Area Community Services.
Good morning, Mason. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Marina.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the computer. I came to work. I don't know why. I could have stayed at home and you could have seen me, but I somehow chose to come here and forgot that my computer here doesn't have a camera. So this time, starting in March, was very challenging for Capital Area Community Services. We never closed the doors, even though our doors are locked, but we never disrupted the services. The biggest challenge was in March because I had to send home all my interns, all the senior aides, and only when people leave, you realize how much help they were. We could not take any volunteers at the warehouse where we pack the food. And of course, the dynamic was very interesting. In all our rural areas, the food requests rose about 30%, which includes Mason. The only area where we saw a decline was Lansing, and there is a reason for that. So Eaton County, Shiawassee County, Clinton County, Mason, which serves the rural area, we all saw an increase from 20 to 30% of people who needed food, seniors and low-income people. So the reason why Lansing was on a decline is because Lansing had more options and more programs. There were more food banks. The Greater Lansing Food Bank was doing a good job with a mobile food pantry. And a lot of our clients, they can't cross the Willow line. Something horrible will happen to them if they do. So they would not be going to Lansing, even if there are services. So we had to bring the food here. In addition, we had an extra challenge of some of the warehouse workers who were high risk and they took some time off. So all of us were going to the warehouse and packing food and doing everything we could to make sure that the food boxes are filled according to USDA requirements and that the food was delivered to the sites. At that time, the CATA bus drivers were a great help. You probably saw CATA buses coming to Mason and distributing the food monthly. They were a fantastic help. It wasn't, of course, as easy as it is to load the food truck, but because we couldn't put the pallets, but it still served the purpose and food was delivered. We never saw the disruption in services. Now, when I say we were operating behind the locked doors, that means that we were still responding to people's requests for utility, rent, and many other things because of COVID, but we were doing it by phone, giving our clients an option to send us the information or whatever documentation we needed. Our agency is working on creating the capabilities for virtual signing for the clients. But sometimes we would just meet with the clients outside in the parking lot and have them sign the papers if they needed to drop something. Agency collaborated with United Way, and we helped, I don't even know how many households, more than 200 for the rural Ingham area. More than 200 applications were filled for rent and utility assistance for people who were affected by COVID, those who lost the jobs. And we started seeing people that we never saw before. Like imagine a small restaurant that is owned by the family, both husband and wife working there, both lost the income and they're struggling to, so we never usually saw them come for services, but now they had to pay the mortgage, they had to pay for the utilities. So the way it worked with the United Way, people were directed to call 211, who screened them, and if the emergency was caused by COVID layoffs, then United Way provided the money and we provided the labor. We talked to clients, we sorted things out for them, found additional sources of funding if needed, and processed the application and paid the vendors, be it mortgage companies, landlords, or utility companies. So that was right now they're out of funds, but soon we will get the CARES Act funding, which we as an agency would probably be using that for rent and utility assistance throughout this whole COVID, we also assisted people who were essential by paying their child care and paying their like car registration or insurance, because you have to have the car if you're essential and you have to keep going to work. But another person in the family lost the job, so they still were affected and saw the drop of income. So those are the things that are to come. October is right around the corner. We will start processing the CARES Act money. Also, I want to remind everybody, and you can advertise that, we will put that on our website. October 15 starts the open enrollment for seniors in the Medicare plans. Now, I have staff here who is fantastic. She's very knowledgeable in the Medicare applications and can provide unbiased, totally unbiased, because we are not paid by any of the insurance companies. We are paid by the government to do that, by the Tri-County Office of Aging, to be precise.
Marina, I'm going to jump in real quick, just because I know we got folks that need to get moving. What are the dates that we need to know about that are really important right now?
October 15th through December 15th would be the open enrollment, and I encourage people to direct seniors to call our office. Lastly, I want to say that we will have our Walk for Warmth virtually. We are building a website, and I will provide information at the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you, Marina. Appreciate it. Great information.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That is the last thing I had on my agenda this morning. I don't think the format's really going to allow us to open it up necessarily to the floor for notes unless Sarah wants us to do that.
There's a couple important things to note in the chat if you want to take a look before you head out, but that is it. Yes.
All right. Well, hey, it's fantastic to see everybody, even if it is just virtually here. I'm excited. Hopefully it won't be too much longer before we can all get together in person. It's been 7 months since our last Good Morning Mason, which is just unbelievable to me. But this has really been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to see everyone very soon.